Hey guys, it's AD.VideoEditor here, and welcome to my 5th tutorial of Sony Vegas Pro. Today we'll be going over tracks in Sony Vegas, so let's go ahead and open that up. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a new project, new file, new, okay. And now, to start off, what is a track, you may be wondering. So a track is basically just a layer of video or audio footage that you see in your video. And to create new tracks, you would go down into the timeline, which as you see in a blank project, it is completely empty. But your timeline is where all of your tracks will be. And what's great about Sony Vegas is that you can have an unlimited amount of tracks. So I could have, for each piece of video, just each video clip in it could be on a completely different track. So to create a new track, you can right click anywhere. You can click in here, although it has to be in the timeline, because if you click up here, nothing. So you click down in the timeline, right click, and we'll do insert video track. And then you get this little, you can kind of just looks like this layer here, and this is where some video footage will be put. And you can also create a new audio layer, audio track. So right click, insert audio track. And generally when you create a new video track, it would appear at the top and an audio track would appear at the bottom. So I'm going to delete the audio track for right now because we won't need it. And in order to delete the track, you can just right click on it and click delete track. And let's say I want to duplicate my track. I just right click on my track that I want to duplicate and click duplicate track, and there we go, it's done. So the great thing about having tracks is that it allows you to layer up your footage so layer up your footage so your video looks really well. So let's say here I'm gonna make some text, and don't worry if you're a little confused. I will be going over how to create, edit text in my next tutorial. So let's say here you'll go right click and just click insert text media, and then this will pop up. So now as you see, when I go over this in my timeline, let me make my video preview a little bit bigger, that this appears. Now let's say I want it to have a cool animation to it, or forget the animation, let's just go with a text color. Let's say I want this to be blue. So I'll go find a nice blue I like, and there we go, that's the color blue I want. Then let's say I also want to go to professional HD video tutorials. Okay, and now as you see, if I go ahead and center everything on here, go center it, the AD.VideoEditor is in the preview, but the professional HD video tutorials isn't. So I want to go ahead and make that font size smaller. I highlight that and select 16, and there we go. But let's say, so now everything fits in the windows. But let's say you want to change the color of it. You just so you go highlight professional HD video tutorials, click your text color, and then let's say you want to make it red. There, you see, this is the problem with if you only had one track. You can only, for text, you can only change the color of the whole thing. You can't do sections of it. So now, here we go. Let's say I want to make it red. So let me just first turn the AD.VideoEditor back to blue. And so what I can do, I can create a new text media on my new track, slide it below it, and as you see, it's sort of double layers. But what I'll go here, I'll rename it to professional HD video tutorials. I will select it all, font size, let's say like 20. Let me go back up to my other track to delete that. And keep in mind, if you will probably be confused about what I'm doing, but I'll be going over everything with text in my next tutorial. And now down here, I can just adjust where it is, and see, let's say now I can make it red as I wanted to. And there we go. Oops, I had a typo for whatever. And now I can have two colors. And basically, this can be done with more than text, obviously. You can layer up different video footage. You can this way you can put, let's say, a text on your video, like on your actual footage. You know, you'd put in the video you filmed on your lower track and your text on the upper track, and then you would see your text on top of your video. And also, this is pretty obvious, but in case you don't know this, the higher the track is up top, the higher of a layer it is. So if something's above it, the one above so let's say here, sorry, this is a little confusing, but the AD.VideoEditor is on top, right? So if I go ahead and move it over the Professional HD Video Editor, it covers it up. So I can't cover up the AD Video Editor with the Professional HD Video Tutorials, because the Professional HD Video Tutorials text is at a lower level, lower layer so it's on a lower track, meaning it's on a lower layer. But if I wanted to, I could simply switch them up here, and there we go. Professional HD Video Tutorials is on top. And so that's pretty much basic. What you basically with tracks, there's not really much more to go over, except you might just to combine, play around with it, get a feel for it. And one last thing before I leave, you can also do the same thing with audio. So let me open up two audio tracks. Let me get some audio. And so I have these two. So let's say I have two different audio tracks that I want to overlap. Then I can just put them on two tracks occupying the same time, and you'll see how that is once these two audio files finish loading. Okay guys, the audio files have loaded, and now as you see, these are two different audio files, and with putting them on two different tracks, they're overlapping, and I'm going to play this, and you'll be able to hear how they sort of like mush together because they're playing at the same time. And keep in mind, this will obviously not sound good, but when you're actually working on combining different audio files, it actually works if you put them on multiple different tracks at the same time. So guys, that's what it sounds like when the audio layers are combined. Of course, didn't really sound good, and if you happen to like the songs, they were United States of Pop 2010 and 2012 by DJ Earworm, if you want to take a look at them on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Please work around with tracks, because you need tracks if you really want to create good video. They are a major part. Without tracks, Sony Vegas Pro would be so much harder to work with. Your videos wouldn't look as great. So please subscribe, please like, please watch future tutorials, especially if you are confused with what I did with the text layers. So I will see you guys next time.